Hello and welcome to the Optimum Business English YouTube channel, where we focus on practical business English that is ready to use directly in the real world of business. In this video, we will learn how to present figures and numbers in a business setting, such as in a business presentation or a meeting. This video has the following sections. Number 1, figures and numbers. Number 2, different types of figures. Number 3, how to express different trends. Number 4, additional wording to use. Number 5, practice presenting. So be sure to stay to the very end to get all our practical tips and tricks on how to succeed in business when presenting figures and numbers. Let's get started. And a good starting point is to understand the difference between figures and numbers. Figures are any shape, chart, graph, or diagram used to describe a number or set of data, and it includes numbers. Whereas numbers are considered to be both figures and numbers. The next thing would be to understand the basic idea behind the different types of figures you may wish to use in a presentation. Starting with the various shapes such as squares, rectangles or circles, etc., which may be used to represent numbers or results. And you could either represent the number within the shape as a fraction such as 4/10 or 4 in 10. Or you could use a percentage. Or you could even use a numberless fraction using words only, such as saying more than half. Moving on to the pie and donut types of charts. These show what size or slice of the pie or donut represents the number, or as a percentage result, such as saying that 53% of employees will move jobs to find better pay. Moving on to bar charts, also known as bar graphs, you could use them like you would the pie chart to show equal parts, numbers versus percentages for each section, such as how and where the company spends its marketing money equally across its 5 different marketing areas, such as in this bar chart. Or you could use it to show unequal parts, numbers, or percentages for each section, such as how much money the company spends on each department. Now, bar charts can either be shown vertically, that is standing upright from the bottom to the top, vertical meaning something that goes straight up into the sky, like a rocket. In other words, it stands straight up. Or the bars can lie horizontally from left to right. Horizontal meaning to be in line with the horizon, and the horizon is the line where the land meets the sky. In other words, it lies flat down. And the choice in the direction of the bars is entirely up to the person compiling or creating the chart. And besides that, there are 3 main ways of depicting or showing using numbers with these types of charts. The first is where each bar or rectangle represents or shows the results for just one thing, such as how much the company earned in profits per year. Each year's bar is shown in a different color. It is important to note that this applies to both bar chart types, whether the bars are horizontal, lying flat, as they were shown in the previous page, or whether they were vertical, standing straight up. The second type of bar chart is used to compare the results of 2 related things, such as the profits made by the company's online stores as compared to its physical stores per year in 2 separate bars lying next to each other. This is helpful to show trends, and in this example, you can see that online store profits surpassed, exceeded, or were more than those of physical stores in 2024. Remembering that the direction of the bars may either be horizontal, as they were in this example, or they may be vertical. The third type is where we can show the same thing but in a different way by combining the results of both sets of data into a single bar or rectangle rather than lying 2 separate bars next to each other. By showing each result or number in a different color. This shows how the blue online store size of each bar has increased each year and went past the physical stores halfway or 50% point in 2024. Once again, the direction of the bars may either be horizontal, lying flat, as they were in the example, or they could be vertical, standing up straight. The last type of chart we will be looking at in this video is line charts. You may think of it as being a simplified version of a bar chart, where each dot on the line represents the top of each bar on the bar chart, only there is no bar, only the dots left. And in this type of chart, there are two main types. The first is a chart showing just one set of data, or numbers. And the second type, which shows two or more pieces of information, such as the company's profits for both the online and physical stores over time, all in the one graph. Finally, there are numbers, which are thought of or are being considered to be both figures and numbers. And numbers have only two ways of being represented or expressed, and that is either as numbers or as words. Moving on, we will now look at how to express or verbalize and put into words the different trends and what the figures, charts, and numbers are telling us. This is very important as you will use this when presenting these figures, charts, and numbers to others in presentations and meetings, in speeches, or even in emails. Starting with situations where numbers are rising or are going up. And if those numbers are going up really quickly, you use words and phrases such as rose or escalated rapidly, abruptly jumped or jumped abruptly up, surged, soared, skyrocketed, shot up, went through the ceiling or went through the roof. And if they are going up gradually or more slowly, you could use words and phrases such as constant or consistent rise, sustained or gradual incline, showed good or continued growth, steady rise or rose steadily, continued growth or continued rise, strong growth, remained positive, positive growth, continued upward trajectory. If the numbers are flat and are neither going up nor down, you use words and phrases such as flatlined, stunted or stagnant growth, growth inhibited, constrained growth, growth is stuck or growth is stunted. It shows no or zero growth, no expansion, failed to grow, or unmoving. Others would be hit the wall or hit a wall, showed no progress, lack of progress, delayed growth, slumped growth, no evidence of growth. Then, if there is no change, if they are still doing exactly the same thing they were doing before, so if they were going up before, they are still going up now at exactly the same angle, or if they were going down before, they are still going down at exactly the same pace. In other words, there is no change in their direction or speed. You could use words such as steady, unchanged or unwavering, constant or consistent, stable, unaltered, unmoved, static, uniform, fixed, or immovable. Others could be even, uninterrupted, untouched, or unaffected. Then, if you see negativity or where the numbers are going downwards, you can use general words such as decreasing, descending, declining, downhill, falling or fall, sinking or sink, sliding or slide, slipping or slip, dipping or dip. Others could be downturn, drop or drop off, loss, slump, collapse, pitch, plunge, wilt or wither, and weaken. And crash, tumble, downcast, lower, downtick, or retreat. Then, for a gentle or gradual downward trend, you could use these phrases: constant or continued drop off, gradual decline, continued to weaken, steady drop or steady decline, or steady descent. Negative growth forecast, or remained negative or remained downcast. Growth slid or sank or dipped or withered or lowered. Or you could say a continued downward trajectory. And if they are dropping really quickly, you could use the following phrases: the floor dropped out from beneath the growth. Numbers collapsed. They plunged into the depths. Or you could say figures suddenly fell or tumbled from previous highs. Or they crashed, or they stumbled, or they hit the deck. The final trend is where the numbers are all over the place and are one moment going up and the next going down. You could use words such as rocky, shaky, unstable, unsettled, unsteady, uncertain, mercurial, teetering, tottering, wobble, or unbalanced. You could also say that the figures were unreliable or insecure, erratic, fluctuating, shifting, vacillating, wavering, seesawing, or oscillating. Now, if the change is good or okay or positive, we say things such as the numbers are satisfactory or they are excellent, they are acceptable, amazing, astonishing, adequate, advantageous, profitable, beneficial. We have exceptional figures, favorable numbers, superb, great, marvelous, positive, outstanding, terrific, impressive results. The numbers made a grand comeback, breathtaking, majestic, mind blowing, pleasant, or magnificent. And if a change is bad or negative, we say things such as a disappointing result, a substandard effort, poor, damaging, inferior, second rate, unsatisfactory, inadequate, unacceptable results, or disagreeable. We could also say that the result was unwelcome, unfortunate, detrimental, being bad for you, unfavorable, terrible, dreadful, disgraceful, awful, grim, or distressing. The results could be regrettable, nasty numbers, horrible figures, lousy results. They could be just simply atrocious. And when a change is small or slight, you could use one of the following adjectives. There's a slight increase. There's a gentle rise. There's a small uptake. The changes are minor, little, tiny, mere, or moderate. There is a minuscule or a minute change, microscopic, nanoscopic, trivial, insignificant, unimportant, or paltry. Or you could say the increase is trifling, negligible, infinitesimal, marginally okay, or inconsequential. And then when a change is large or big, you could use one of the following phrases or adjectives: large, great, sizable, huge or gigantic, humongous, immense, enormous, a sizable increase, a substantial rise, a considerable increase. Extensive, colossal, massive, mammoth, monumental, a major increase, tremendous result, important, significant, consequential. Or you could say this is a key result or has far reaching consequences, monumentous, giant, vast, or hefty. In section 4, you will discover even more ways of expressing or saying numbers and figures using specific phrases and groupings of words. To have hugely or largely elevated or high levels. To have fading exuberance or excitement about the market, etc. Social media fueled the trend or gave fuel or energy to the trend direction. The rise or rising profits came to an abrupt or sudden halt. Sky high prices resulted in them needing to cut costs. And having exhausted their savings, with no more savings to use, they had to borrow more money. Leaning on or relying on credit loans, they were able to carry on for a while. Feeling the pinch as the market suffered, they had to quickly cut costs. Their savings had to stretch to cover increases in rent. Their yearly or annual average rent was 6% up on last year. The market was showing signs of moderating or balancing out. The record breaking number of sales meant that they could start saving money. Suffering under critically higher costs, they were forced to cut or retrench staff. Sales were in a slump during COVID. Their local currency remained remarkably strong despite the global recession. In the midst of persistent pressure, the local currency collapsed. Global sales are in significant decline. The market continued to expand as more people discovered their products. With a solid foundation of consistent growth, they were able to overtake their competitors. They remained or stayed confident and optimistic regarding the future. He lost confidence in his own ability to succeed. The world saw an average of 4 out of every 10 households battle to pay rent each month. Down from the peak or the highest point in 2023, they expected a reduction in costs in 2024. Despite being still well above the global or previous normal average in terms of AI use, he knew they needed to take it even further. Prices will likely cool or drop in the coming months when interest rates increase. Interest rates continue to look strong for now. The death toll continues to rise or increase following the natural disaster. The dollar continued to inch up slightly against the British pound. The price of oil remains below the $80 benchmark. Despite being at an all-time low, unemployment remains a considerable problem in society. With the cost of living breaking all previous records, people are battling to put food on the table. Employment figures soared to historical all-time highs last month. Despite historically high rental figures, more people are renting than buying their own homes. The figure is down from last quarter, following significant investment or spend on improving their systems. The monthly peak for 2024 was just 10%. Markets are slowing down a bit after they announced lower than expected growth figures. Our profits sank to an historic low this quarter as a result of lower retail sales. The marketing campaign spurred on growth in sales, which fueled higher profits. At the current high rate of return, we will be able to save even more next year. 25% is the highest or most on record, and so we are now ready to expand into China. The current trend in software profits means that we are well placed to grow our market. The disappointing numbers or figures reflect the market's uncertainty about the future of the industry. Now, using some randomly generated figures and results from a fictitious survey as our data set, we will practice presenting and speaking about numbers and figures. Let us begin. If you were presenting this slide to an audience, what would you say about these numbers? Try for yourself by completing or finishing the sentence in green at the top of the page. Check your answer to ours next, and if necessary, practice it and repeat it until it is correct. The answer is the survey sampled 65,523 workers from 52 countries. Please note that if you struggle to say the numbers correctly, you may wish to look out for our upcoming video on how to say numbers correctly. And now, using the percentages in the shapes or figures on this slide, complete the sentence in green. Check your answer to ours next, and if necessary, practice it and repeat it until it is correct. The answer was the survey results revealed that 55% felt that they had too much change, and 42% didn't know why they needed to change. Next, using the percentages in the donut charts on the right, complete the sentence in green. Check your answer to ours next, and if necessary, practice it and repeat it until it is correct. The answer was the survey results revealed that 80% of employees knew they needed to adapt their work. 60% thought recent changes were for good reasons, and 40% were worried they'd be made redundant. Now, using the percentages in the vertical bar chart on this slide, complete the sentence in green. Check your answer to ours next, and if necessary, practice it and repeat it until it is correct. The answer should have been, in addition, 30% of employees noted that they had new ways of working, with 39% saying that their teams or team had changed, whilst 52% had been given more or additional work. Now, using the percentages in the horizontal bar chart on the slide, complete the sentence in green. Check your answer to ours next, and if necessary, practice it and repeat it until it is correct. Your answer should have been, then, when it came to finances, 15% were in debt, with just 35% being able to save, and an alarming 50% couldn't save. Now, using the percentages in the line chart on the slide, complete the sentence in green. Check your answer to ours next, and if necessary, practice it and repeat it until it is correct. Employees' thoughts on AI revealed that 50% felt it would increase efficiency, 62% thought it would be bad for jobs, and 80% agreed it would improve speed. Finally, using the percentages in the donut charts, complete the sentences in the three colors on the left. Check your answer to ours next, and if necessary, practice it and repeat it until it is correct. Your sentences should have said, 56% of employees are likely to change jobs next year. 62% of employees felt they are being unfairly paid, whilst 82% said they deserved a raise. In the final part of this section, we will now make use of some charts with numbers or data that has been randomly generated or created and are not based on any fact to practice expressing some trends. Using the trend revealing line chart on your right as your reference, complete the green sentence. Check your answer to ours next, and if necessary, practice it and repeat it until it is correct. Your answer should have said, year-on-year profits over the past 5 years reveal that despite a significant dip during the pandemic of 2020, we have achieved a steady level of growth overall, or overall growth. Using the trend revealing line chart on your right as your reference completes the green sentence. Check your answer to ours next, and if necessary, practice it and repeat it until it is correct. Your sentence should have said, retail store sales over the past 5 years reveal that despite a substantial drop during the pandemic of 2020, our sales are significantly lower when compared to our pre-COVID numbers and appear to be on a consistently downward trajectory. Now, Using the line chart data on the right, please complete the green sentence. Check your answer to ours next, and if necessary, practice it and repeat it until it is correct. Your sentence should have said, despite consistently spending significant or high or large amounts on marketing over the past 7 quarters, our X-phone sales increased only marginally or slightly and have since dropped back to its disappointing starting figures, basically flatlining. Now, using the line chart on the right, complete the green sentence. Check your answer to ours next, and if necessary, practice it and repeat it until it is correct. Your sentence should have said, the project spend surpassed or exceeded its budget or planned costs on 2020 Q2 and has since only continued to rise at an alarming or increasing rate, effectively putting the project over budget and making it unprofitable. And with that, we have come to the end of this video. We hope that you have enjoyed it and that we will see you in our next video. Please remember to subscribe to our channel to be notified each time we post a new video. You will find the link in the description box. And thank you for watching.